Born into a real fight wasn't right. Where can she dream here?
Hey there, everybody. It's Wednesday night, which means pACT, podcasting for all coming together. It's our show. We are here to talk about nonprofits and small businesses. We're going to be talking to a good friend of mine that we're still in discussions on how we're going to work together exactly. You know, hey, it takes a little while sometimes to get these things up and running. I mean, Stephanie and I, we've been doing this for over a year, and she just recently joined the program with ONEHOPE Wines. So and we've created something beautiful together. So we're working with Rob to figure things out, but he's got some really, really important things because a lot has changed in the health insurance world, you know, in the last couple of years. And he brings up a good point about some of the things that have been passed recently that have made it a little more tolerable for people who are struggling. You know, you still have to have or health insurance. Look, it's better for you to have it anyway. It's not cheap. It's not fun. We all know this, but it's something that you got to have. Rob's going to be joining us in a recording that we did at the end or at the beginning of the second hour. First hour is going to be the Goddess of the Grapes, Stephanie Samos, and myself. And we are going to talk about Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and a lot of the other things that we did. And that we do. We're going to be talking about some of the cause partners, and like the one that you just saw, Marie Barney Boston Foundation. And we haven't had any bad interviews. I'm just going to tell you right now, we have not had a single bad interview. But Brenda, she's always so much fun to talk to. I mean, just talking about her just gives me, chicken skin, just because she is so infectious, so loving, so giving, and so caring. So, and then we're also going to be talking about some of our other mission partners that are out there and talking about some of the things that they need, including one of our brand new ones who just joined us with Once Upon a Time. Wonderful program. Wonderful program. And we're very excited to have them on board. Two things before we get started. One personal and one we just need to say from Community Pay It Forward, all of our partners, all of our sponsors, everyone around us, Hawaii, we're with you in spirit, in heart. And if there's anybody who's out here who knows people in Hawaii that need some help, please, if there's anything that we can do to help you, please let us know. Stephanie and I, we're willing to do whatever we can. You know what, Stephanie, I'm going to bring you on right now because I think that this is something that you would want to talk about as well. The last I heard, we've reached over 100 deaths out there in Hawaii due to that fire. And there's so much tragedy, so many so much loss, and we just want to make sure that we're here to let you know that we will do whatever we can to help you out. So if you know anybody, if you have family out there, if you're out there listening to us, we can do anything. We can help you raise money, do whatever we can. We are here for you.
If
So
there's an organization that has boots on the ground there that is helping, that's a nonprofit, we can definitely, connect with them to see what we can do there. I know One Hope does a really great job at that. And that's what the One Hope Foundation is about, to have that, donation there, not only for water, hunger, health, education. Those are like the main causes, but to have those funds on hand, for example, with our frontline workers at the beginning of the pandemic, we had care packages for them, like to have that, to be able to disperse in an emergency like this, is something great that they do. So I will keep you posted, Zach, if I hear anything on that, or if I hear of any organizations that have boots on the ground that are working on things there.
Yeah, and please reach out to us right now, because if we get to record another show tomorrow where we're helping someone in Hawaii, we will do it. We'll get them added. Community Dare to Care is supposed to be the featured organization. I want to make sure that we are helping as many people in that area as we can. As far as organizations go, if you would like to be one of our featured organizations for next month, call us. You can see Stephanie's link tree under her name right there. But if you need it any closer, it's right there. The Goddess of the Grape, Stephanie Samos, works very hard to support. I try to support a lot of causes, but boy, you've just got lists and lists of people that every time you make a purchase of wine, not only does your purchase help a nonprofit of your choice, it also helps One Hope Foundation, which every bottle of wine helping 2 organizations. What a wonderful, wonderful thing to do.
That's why we're a good pair, Zach, because you're able to help not only nonprofits, but people that are struggling as well. And that's why I'm so excited to be able to feature you with Community Pay It Forward and Community Dare to Care. And if you're watching, this took a little bit of a push for me to get Zach to agree to this. It's a good thing. I'm kind of pushing him out of his comfort zone a little bit because, Zach, you're always helping other people, which I absolutely love. But in order for you to continue to grow that and help more people, we need to help support your organizations. So I'm really excited to be able to dive in, talk a little bit about Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, how they're different, what your goals are through the end of the year, because I know we touched on that a little bit last time, which is amazing. And I'd love for anybody watching tonight to hear from you again on that. And then maybe some of the ways that they can help support through some of your mission partners, and kind of tie it all together. And then we'll talk about some summertime song and sips with One Hope, and call it a night, and cheers to everybody that's watching.
Yeah. And, look, there's so many people out there that need our help right now. And I think that that's just one of the reasons why this is, like I said, like Stephanie said, this was really uncomfortable for me to come on and use this show to really talk a lot about what we do. But what we do is try to help as many people as as we can. That's our goal with both companies. It's the same goal, helping other people. The personal thing that I wanted to talk to everyone about was this past Monday. This past Monday was my 9-year anniversary since the accident. And it's always a day of reflection for me. I call it my birthday because it's the day that I was I was born again. It's the day that, you know, I was able to come back and start my life over again. My life could have ended that night very easily. And Stephanie, you know that that's kind of the way that things go. Every time that you get into a vehicle, every time that you wake up, you don't know if something's going to happen, and you know, it's scary. Every day is a gamble, and we're hoping that that gamble turns out a win, you know, but we just need to treat every day like it could be our last, and make sure that we're putting our best foot forward. We, for the first 9 years of what I've been attempting to do, it has been a struggle. It really has been a struggle, but with your help, it doesn't have to be a struggle anymore. And there are a few things that we're going to ask you that you can participate in. One, purchasing wine. For the rest of this month, anytime that you purchase wine and you use our QR code, and of course, you know, me being well prepared like I am, I don't have it set up yet, but
that's all right. Well,
here,
let's just put it this way, you guys. Every approximately 2 cases of wine is a $50 donation or more. So who needs a restock on wine? It's summertime. People are having barbecues, sending gifts, you know, grabbing a bottle and going to a barbecue or to a party. So just think about that when, you know, you're thinking about your refill and you're thinking about supporting really great organizations like Dare to Care. So you can take your cell phone out, turn on your camera, and hold it up to that QR code. It will take you directly to the community Dare to Care One Hope fundraiser. Or if you prefer to type it into your browser, you can type in onehopewine.com/event/149454. That is a 4, right? At the end. I can't see from here.
Oh, 1.
Oh,
it
it's
looks
a 1.
like
Sorry, guys.
451. Yeah.
Guilty. Can't see. All right. And it'll take you right to the fundraising link, and you can shop to support all the things that Zach is doing, which we need to talk about, Zach. Let's dive into that a little bit. And if you want to join us on Facebook, which I highly recommend, in our group that highlights our monthly fundraisers, that is also, if you go to my link tree, which is underneath my name, once we pop up again, it's right at the top of that when you go to that link. Yep, Linktree/Steph Samos. It is right. It is the first link at the top. You can join us on Facebook and be a part of the conversation there, and you know, and share the recipes that you're trying and things like that.
And you could always type out, you know, that long number, or you can look for Community Pay It Forward One Hope Wine fundraiser, and it'll come up. Ask to join the group. Once you join that group, you can, we ask you to share stories with us. Buy the wine. Tell us about the wine. Tell us what you think. Follow Stephanie and her wonderful recipes that she puts out. Tell us your own recipes. Tell us about what you're eating with, the pairings. Let's have some fun with this. Let's take and turn these wines into something really cool. Let's turn our giving into something even better. So, but Stephanie, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Perfect. Hey, we're switching seats tonight, and I love it. It's great.
Yeah, I was noticing my seat's getting a little warmer.
Zach's in the hot seat. If you're watching, you know, hang on tight. All right. So why don't we start off by talking about Community Pay It Forward and kind of what it's about, and you know, where you're hoping to go with it, because I know you've got some really great goals for this year. So go ahead, take it away. What is Community Pay It Forward about?
You know, Community Pay It Forward, as it says on the bottom scroll there, Community Pay It Forward, we take an 80 or 90% of any referral awarded to us by our giving partners, which are small businesses all over the country, all over the world. These small businesses are giving us a referral every time that we send them a new customer. So say you need a website done. We send you to see our dear friend, Mr. Z. He creates a website for you. You get that receipt from Mr. Z and you send it to us. We say, hey, Z, this family purchased this website for their wedding. They came through us, and he gives us $100 referral. What we're going to do is we're going to ask you, the customer, the one who got the website done for them, we're going to ask you to go to our website and find the mission partners. And we're going to be talking a lot about our mission partners tonight. We're going to say, choose the mission partner that you love. Look, here's the thing. I can tell you all day long who I want to support. Well, I want to support everybody if we could. That's just the truth. But who I want to support is not the important thing. It's who you want to support. What speaks to you? What speaks to your mind? Stephanie, you and I are both very, very much into our veterans. We're both very much into children and the different diseases and afflictions that these young kids have. But what we do is we take that referral and you tell us who you want to support, and we give 80 to 90% of that referral. That $100 referral to us becomes an $80 to $90 donation to the cause that you choose. Simply by taking a picture of the receipt and turning it into us, letting us know who you want to support. It's a great way to take your honey-do list, create that list, come to our website, find the partner that best fits your needs. And once you do that, you've donated 6 or 7 or 8 different times just by shopping with our partners.
I want to just add to that, Zach, that you don't only support nonprofit organizations. So if somebody is giving you that referral and would like, whether it's a certain 501c3 nonprofit organization or a person that might be really, maybe struggling with something medical. We've seen a lot of that. And they really need support. The family really needs support. You also support those people too, right? And those causes.
Yeah. Just this week, we got a family in who it's a young lady in her mid-20s, and she's got two beautiful little boys, and she's trying to do it on her own, and she doesn't want to take, and she doesn't like asking for support. She doesn't like asking for any of this. But guess what? We were in our 20s once. Some of us, that was a long time ago, but some of us are still in our 20s, but look, we remember what it was like in our 20s. We thought that we had it figured out, and then adulthood smacked us in the face, and we realized, whoa, I don't really know much about it. I wish I knew half of what I knew when I was 16. I really do. But, but we're trying to find a way to help them out, and we treat them the same way that we treat a nonprofit. You know what? You give us a referral and you say, hey, I want to support Michaela Watson. I want to help her because I was a single mom, or I was a single dad, and I understand this story. I understand the struggle. And you turn in a receipt and you say, I want to support Michaela. And a portion of that money will go to Michaela. Or a portion of this money can go to Sarah after her car accident. Or a portion of this money can go towards any of these stories. Or, Stephanie, your children, they all the time, they have to raise money for camps or school supply, schools, school trips, stuff like this. That's one of the other things that we love teaching and helping with, because
and school is right around the corner. So if
there are you know what, schools, I know kindergarten today started for a family very close to us. One that, as a matter of fact, we were able to help them before, and kindergarten started for them this morning. So We
Yeah,
got
school
this.
supplies are a
Yeah.
struggle. Zach
Yeah.
is all about that.
Yep.
Also, I've seen a lot of posts recently with grandparents raising their
Mhm.
grandchildren too. So, if there are people like that in your community that are needing some support, maybe with school supplies or something else, clothing, um, you know, the donations are another thing with clothing. Zach, talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, that gets into the Dare to Care thing and community Dare to Care, and we take in donations. We take in donations of school supplies. We take in donations of clothing for everyone in the family. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, you know, if it's got life in it, we need it because we take and we turn that around and we give it away to people who need it. We don't sell these items. My philosophy is it was never mine. I'm not going to sell it. I'd rather see it on the back of someone who needs it. I'd rather see these kids being able to go to school and participate because they've got a full pencil bag or whatever. Even though they're getting away from pencil bags, now it's all computer and stuff. There's still stuff that they need, crayons and the younger kids. And one of my dogs is choking on something, I guess. Um, but there's still needs. Churches go on these trips nowadays. And Stephanie, my thing is that I don't care who you vote for, and really it doesn't matter if your child has a chance to go and visit Washington D.C. For you, it's a little bit cheaper because you're in the side of the country where it's a little closer. For us, it costs around $2,500 to send our kids. Sometimes that $2,500 is impossible. But if your kid has a chance to go and meet the president of these United States, and I don't care which president it is, that child should have a chance because you know what? They may never get that chance again.
Right.
As an adult, that's not something that happens every day. Your kid works hard enough to where they can go and they can meet the president of the United States. We want to help them get there. Go on a special trip somewhere else, on an educational trip somewhere else, or maybe your church
Sometimes
group is going to Jerusalem or something like that.
sometimes
Right
there
now, I don't
are
suggest doing that, but
Yeah, no, sometimes there are earned athletic trips too
yes,
that,
yeah,
families, maybe the child earned their way, but there's a
scholastic,
financial struggle to be able to get there.
yeah, scholastic trips, spelling bees, math bees, stuff like this. They're all in there. We want to help these kids be the best that they can be. And that's where community pay it forward comes in. Community Dare to Care, we also want to help them by making sure that they have all the stuff that they're ready for. Maybe they need, maybe they need to get like clothing that, look, let's be honest, these are kids. Going out and spending $1,000 on an outfit for a child, it's a little ridiculous. So, and with schools moving towards the uniforms, we get in uniforms for kids. Once you're done with it, they're not going to fit into it next year. If you don't have another child to pass it down to, send it to us because we can find another child that needs that uniform. I remember being a time in my life when my son was first in school trying to get all the uniforms and everything, and we went to Walmart to go try to find the uniforms and they didn't have any. They had
Really?
all the colors that he wasn't allowed to wear because it wasn't his school colors. And I remember how frustrating that could be because if we send him in any other color, they would send him home.
Yeah.
Well, that's just, and of course, me being a New Jersey Devils fan, my son had a lot of red clothing, and red is a color that you're not supposed to wear to schools. Sorry, truth. It is what it is. But these are just the kind of things that little thought put behind it can really make a huge difference for you and your family. I tell this to people all the time, Stephanie. that, when you put on that coat the first time when the summer ends, and you go outside and it's 40 degrees and you're like, oh my God, is it like -30? You're putting on a coat, you're dressing for winter. You take and you reach your hands in there and you find a $20 bill. You're like, wow. My first thought is, man, last week I needed a soda. I could have went and bought one. Because that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to go and I'm going to buy myself more soda. Stephanie, if we take that $20 bill that we didn't know we had no idea it was even there. If we take and we put that $20 bill in the hands of a single mom who's trying to put food on the table, trying to get her kids to daycare or school, trying to get herself to work so she can do stuff for these kids, we've made that money mean so much more than just money. It's become a weapon against for good. Okay, we've taken it and we've lessened problems. And one of the things that I struggled with the most was stress after my accident. And stress makes, and which I'm going to make this point later on in the interview with Rob, but stress makes healing very difficult because it doesn't allow your body doesn't want to recover if you're doing bad things. And stress is one of the worst things you can do to every muscle in your body. That's just the way it is. If you're stressing out, you can't relax, you can't recover correctly. If we can help people, and that's the whole purpose of all of this, if we can help people alleviate little stresses in life, we can help them stand up on their own. And if we're helping them stand up on their own, they're going to take, and once they're able to dust off their pants and they're able to stand up, they're going to turn around and help the next person. And then they're going to turn around and help the next person. We're going to build bridges across problems. We're together going to work to make something fantastic. And if we forget all this divisiveness that's in the world right now, so you voted for the other idiot. My idiot didn't do well. Instead of us fighting about it, let's not worry about it. Let's try better next time. But let's still work together to help people out, because that's what this is. We're all we've got, and we need to make sure that we're helping each other. And that's one of the reasons why I love what you and I are doing, because we have great programs like Project Die Hard, like Marie Barney Boston program, like Veterans Honoring Veterans, like Veterans Ranch, Martyred Angel, Shaken Baby Syndrome, your friend at with Pandas, all these things, all the wonderful programs that help out caregivers. These programs are built to help out people who are doing fantastic work. And I love what we do because we support them to continue to do the work that's so important.
Right. And the wine isn't the only way. So you can go to Zach's website with Community Pay It Forward when you need to shop for something, and go and check out those partners that he has on the site. Scroll through, shop with them, and it's a wonderful way to be able to give back either one of the causes that he has highlighted on his site, or connect with Zach and be able to donate to the cause of your choice. And I love that you're doing that, Zach, because we are also doing that on the One Hope side. So yes, if you need a gift and you need to send some wine, or you need a refill on wine, it's a great way to also support Zach's mission with Community Pay It Forward and Community Dare to Care. So basically, let me get this straight. With Community Pay It Forward, they are shopping with a mission partner and giving back that way. with Dare to Care, it's donations, right?
Donations, and we do a lot of events on this one. As you well know, we do a chili cook-off and book drive, and our book drive is a little bit different because what we do with our books, and by the way, take this idea and run with it. Okay, what we do is we ask people to take and purchase books. We ask them to buy from our wonderful partners that we have. Alistair Banks, buy some of her books, and take and buy one for your child, your grandchild, your niece, your nephew. But then buy a second one. Take and open this book, and on the inside write to, and leave it blank, and then write from the Samos family. Get well. And then take and collect these books. Take them to your local hospital. Take them to the wards, the pediatric wards. Tell these nurses, hey, you know what? We love what you do. We thank you for helping these kids. Thank you. Please give these books to kids as they come in, and they can take and they can write in there, little Timmy, little Susie, whatever, in that to spot. And when these kids are in there dealing with something that is just so hard for them to even understand what's going on, they're still thinking, oh my God, is this what life is like? They get this book and they open it up and they see a name that they've never seen before. And they're like, that plants that seed in their head that, oh my God, somebody cares.
Right. I remember when we had a few nights stay in the hospital, that little care package meant everything to my son. And it made our stay so much more comfortable, and it gave him something to do when he was tied up to the bed, really. So
yeah,
it's
and
really, really important.
Yeah. And like I was telling you on the last show, collect board games and stuff like that, because people like yourself, Stephanie, you got a larger family. When mom or dad are in the room, you've still got mom or dad outside of the room with the other kids. And those other kids are sitting there going, oh, we're bored. Oh, what are we going to? Well, take in a couple board games, from your family. They can put them into the family waiting room. Give those kids something to do, play a little bit of Jenga instead of just sitting there, watching the soap opera that's on the TV or whatever, there are certain things that you can do to really, really make a huge difference for people. And of course, at one point in time, we were collecting toys, but with COVID, when that came along, toys got a little bit dangerous, so I changed it and I came up with this book thing because this helps with the kids' education. It helps writers. It is something that these kids are going to hold on to for a long time. Because you know what? When I moved the last time and I went into my son's room, my son's 22 now. Okay. And I found books that I bought him when he was a child. Kids keep these books for a long time. If you write inside there, something cute, from, that's going to be a memory that kid's always going to have. Oh my God, this family cared enough about me when I was a kid. The child does not have to know that you bought it for any kid. That kid's going to think, my name's in this book. They bought it for me. So that's one of the other things that we do. We do a program called the Family's Cubs and Causes, because we have what's called the Cub Club. I miss the days when I would join a club, the Superheroes Club, and I'd have a little, of course it was before the driver's license, but we'd have a little card that said, it made me important because I had a membership card to something. This Cub Club, what we're doing, Mom and Dad, is we're trying to help kids understand that giving is fun. It's easy. And it's important. We're also and this is mom and dad, this is where it gets a little bit more important for you. We're also trying to find ways to make sure that in this wacky world that we're living in, God forbid, and I don't wish this on anybody, something happens to your child. Amber Alerts they are what they are. Okay. But what we want to do, what we suggest that you do is you take these little things that every single one of us carry nowadays. Take one, record that kid for 5 minutes, each of your kids for 5 minutes, and make sure they don't stop talking. They say every word they can possibly come up with. Ask them things like, what's your favorite cereal? There's never been a kid in the world that goes, my favorite cereal is Fruit Loops. Kid's going to go, Fruit Loops, and get all excited, and they're going to be excited about that. Well, what's a food that you don't like? Broccoli. You know, there's tones, there's things, because you can show me a picture of a child and then put them in with 6 different kids. I'm not going to remember that all the time. But if I remember that pitch in their voice, if I remember the way that they reacted to something, if I remember that they struggle saying spaghetti and they say scapetti or whatever, and I'm in a store and I hear that, I'm going to focus a little bit more. And this is just a way that, you know what, when you're taking and God forbid, again, please, I don't wish this on anybody, but if something happens in your child, they need to find your child. Let's take and let's get this recording into the news to where the news can take and put it on their websites, and they can say, hey, here's this kid's mannerisms, because you're not only getting the voice, you're seeing the walking of this child. How this kid, do they walk with their arms swinging? You know, does the kid prefer his hair all messy, or has a little devil's horn like I've got today in my hair? Plus, I'm wearing my granddaughter's hat that she gave me, so you know that's pretty important. But you know, there's so much that you can do with that recording to keep your kids safe. And one of the other things that we do for you as the parent and your kids is we've got these little sheets in it, and your kids get to have fun, because here's their little card. You take and you fill it out and you laminate it. We ask your kids to put their fingerprints on there. They see this as, I get to make a mess. So they're putting their fingerprints on there. It's really cool. And on the back of the card, it says, my name is, we ask them to print their name. I am the Cub Club. You know, mom and dad, you put their fingerprints here, you have a record of it. Okay. And it asks you, my address is, phone number, here's my signature, the city I live in is, my favorite food is, my favorite TV show is. These are all questions that you can ask this child when you're recording. These are just some of the things that you can ask them. But these are the kind of things that we try to do with Community Dare to Care. It's important to us that, look, Stephanie, I say this all the time, and I know that you like it when I say it. You know, I love my kids. Yours, not so much. But the truth is that every kid deserves a chance. You know, these little booklets that you can download on the Cub Club page. You know, it's got the different animals of the world. It's got some games in it. It's got, you know, it's all about Nita. Because my road name, which is the name that they gave me in the group that I rode with, the VFW Warriors, is Polar Bear. And so if you look around my room, you're going to see everything polar bear. You know, there's polar bears all over the place. Well, we want these kids to know this. But then we ask the kids, draw yourself in the future. What do you want to be? You know, it's just, it's fun. Then get your kids together, grab some crayons, grab some markers, grab a poster board. And this is really important right now. Ask them to tell me what you feel about family. draw what you feel about family, or draw what you feel about the holidays, or draw what you feel about helping others, and let them be as creative as they want. Create these boards. Take 3 of those pictures. Go out, buy a $2 box from Walmart, one of the large let me try this again in English. One of those large $2 boxes from Walmart. Put it together. Take 3 of those boards and put one on 3 sides. Take it to your local grocery store, your favorite restaurant, and say, we're doing a toy drive. We're doing a food drive. We're doing a drive of some sort. Collect toys and stuff for your local homeless shelter, for your to create holiday boxes for families, toy drives, or even book drives for this project to give to kids. Make sure your kids see those boxes, see that people are putting boxes in there, or stuff in there. They can see how much fun they had, and they're going to remember that was fun, and I helped people.
I love so much, Zach, that, you're incorporating the whole family, the whole community. You've got stuff for adults to give back, and support. You've got opportunities for the kids to be involved. And I love all of these ideas. And I love that you want to initiate this, not just local to you, but everywhere. And that's so, so important, because the more of us there are, I always say this, the more impact we can make together. And speaking of impact, I know you have a vision for your stand-up centers too. I know you have a video about it, but I don't know if you want to go with a video, if you want to kind of speak on it with what your goals are with first, what are the stand-up centers, and then what your goal is for that.
Well, the stand-up centers, there's a program for our veterans that is a wonderful program, but it's not used nearly enough. It's not held nearly enough, and it's because they're difficult to put together. But this is a chance for homeless veterans to get together, and they're able to get haircuts, and they're able to get doctor's checkups, and they're able to get a nice warm meal for a change. They're able to get a little bit of help trying to find a job, help trying to find a place to live. There's all kinds of things that go into those. These generally only happen once or twice a year, once in the spring, once in the fall. We can do better. As communities, we can do better. My vision is to create something called the stand-up centers, like you mentioned. And these will have all these things that we've already talked about, the school supplies, the clothing, all this stuff. It'll also have volunteers coming in talking about, or they give haircuts. I talked to the beautiful ladies at Bittersweet Plaza here in Greeley. And when I mentioned it, the 3 ladies that were working, including the beautiful lady who runs it, Melissa, stood up. I'm in. I'll volunteer time. I'll go and do a couple hours worth of free haircuts for people. Give these people who are less fortunate than ourselves, or find themselves in a difficult situation, give them a chance to come and look good and feel good. Give them free haircuts, free checkups, free dental checks. Get them into a room to where they can help build resumes with a computer. Offer computer labs to where somebody can come in and sign up for a 6-hour session. They can sit there and they can make a little bit of money by doing a computer job, doing one of these, call centers that we all hate, but it's a way for them to make a little bit of money. To try to find maybe just a hotel room for the night or whatever, have a place where they can take a shower, feel like a human again, get a meal, have a bay open to where they can repair their bicycles with donated parts, They can repair their tents or their air mattresses with donated parts. Have a place where they can apply for jobs. Have there was a class that I took once that I would like to implement, and I suggest everybody takes it. It's called transferable skills. It's amazing what you can do if you take your jobs and you think of everything that you had to do in these jobs. You know, well, I was never a janitor. You had to clean. You have janitorial skills. It's a way to cheat on your resume to make you look a heck of a lot better. Let's just put it that way. This is something that we can offer to anybody. And look, I don't sit there and make people fill out a form if they come to us. If they ask us if we can help them, we help them. If they're going to come to us, we just ask two things. If there's still life left in whatever we give to you, give it to somebody else. Don't sell it. Don't take it to a thrift store. Give it to somebody else who needs it. And two, do something for someone else. Anything. We say at the end of every podcast, if you've got extra food, throw it in the old hillbilly Tupperware. Put it in a butter bowl, hit the microwave, and take it to somewhere where someone's struggling with hunger. If you've got an extra large t-shirt and you're a 2XL guy, take that shirt, put it in your car, give it to somebody who's struggling with the elements. So many things that we can do that are minor things that honestly take less than a second of thought, less than a second of action, and you can change someone's life forever because they can remember that you did something good for them.
I love that.
That's what the stand-up centers are going to be.
So many ways. So you had mentioned some goals that you have through the end of the year, you know, and I know that this is a lot to implement the stand-up center. So what is the, you know, monetary goal that you're looking for? And if you're watching, Zach can take donations too. I know we didn't talk about monetary donations, but if you're like, man, I want to help fund one of these stand-up centers, get in touch with Zach and you can help support that directly through him. Doesn't have to be through One Hope Wine. It could be directly in that way. You know, I want this donation to go towards, you know, this stand-up center. So,
but honestly, in theory, going through One Hope Wines, going through the Community Pay It Forward program, that's the best way to do this because this isn't asking you to pull out your wallet again. Make a purchase of the wine. We've got the holidays coming up, folks. You need to stock up. Holiday dinners are coming up.
What are some of the other mission partners that they can shop with? Now that you're bringing that up, I think that that's a good point. You know, if they need a refill on wine or a gift, great. They can go with One Hope. But who else? Like, let's talk about some of the other people on your website that they might be able to shop with and what kind of products or services that they have.
Yeah, well, let's go with when you go to the website, which is right there on the screen. It's communitypayitforward.us. We have a page that is called poor management skills here, but give me just a second. When you come to the website, once again, communitypayitforward.us, you're going to come here. You hover over Find Your Partner. And when your internet works, it's going to go to Verified Giving Partners. You go to your giving partners. Oh, look at this. How cute is that? But right here, we've got partners in every single one of these categories: auto insurance, auto repair, ADA website compliance, bill mediation services, which is a great way to save money for yourself. You can save money for yourself and donate to a cause that you love. Business coaching, business formations. This is one that speaks to your heart? Construction, because that's what the hubby does. Credit repair, family therapy sessions, which is great with footprints. Matter of fact, she is going to be one of our guests here in a couple weeks. The Mall-in-One, which is a dollar store owned by Mr. Z and myself. You shop there. Part of your donation goes to a veteran cause, and the other goes to a mission of your choice. So photography, plumbing, promotional. Look, there's all kinds of things. You see women of business ownership, veteran and hero-owned businesses. These are all people who are saying, Zach, if people shop with us, we'll give you a referral award. And we're going to turn that referral award into a donation for someone that you need, for something that you love. And all you got to do is once you find that, once you shop with one of those partners, come down here to Mission Partners. Go to Mission Partners. And these are all the people that we work with. 501c3, nonprofits and charity work. Animal missions. I know, Stephanie, you're a huge animal fan. Community Cares Cub Club. We just talked about the Cub Club. Community Dare to Care's outreach and events. It's what this whole show's about. Community improvement missions. These are missions like, say you see a neighborhood that got tagged with graffiti or somebody did some damage. You can't get the government to help you fund a cleanup program. So you and your neighbors decide, guys, let's try to get some paint together. Let's go out. Let's do this on our own. Let's get it done. Let's raise some money for you to help you guys out. Our families and neighbors who need our help. Healthy mind, body, and soul, which is all about non-narcotic, healthy healing ways. This is a way that it's out there. It's beautiful, but it's not funded by doctors and stuff like that. So it takes a little bit of time. So we're trying to help them grow. Honoring our heroes, both country and community. Another one that I know you, Stephanie, are very involved with. This is all of our veteran. This is our teachers. This is our first responders, our law enforcement officers. If we consider you a hero, this is where you belong. Inclusion is for everyone. This is for people with handicaps. People who are in situations when they just don't feel like they're being included. These are for the programs that help them to get included. And supporting startup businesses and organizations, one that I'm really proud of, because this is one of the best ways to start your company is by joining our program. And when you join our program, we're going to tell people about you. And when we tell people about you, they shop with you, you can support another cause. So it's just another way that you can take and support other people by supporting yourself.
I love that program. It's fantastic. We've been doing this monthly show for a while, and we usually are occupied with this. But I'm so glad to be a very small part of your program, Zach. You're doing great things, and I can't wait to see all the things to come.
Well, you do a huge part in this. People, if they only knew what you had to put up with on a day-to-day basis, because the owner of my companies are a little bit of a wackadoo at times. So, but you put up with more, and you are such an important part in my personal and professional life. And I want to thank you for doing what you do.
We're a great team, Zach. We're a great team.
That is true.
I have some fun stuff to kind of touch on tonight with how we can shop and support Community Dare to Care and Community Pay It Forward. If you are watching for the very first time, I am a cause entrepreneur with ONEHOPE Wine. So what we do is I specialize in fundraising, gifting, private wine events, wine delivery, and every single bottle of wine that we sell gives back to support a cause. this month. Of course, it's Community Dare to Care, Community Pay It Forward,
Whoop,
but
wrong
no, that's
one.
okay. You don't have to. Okay. But so through One Hope to date, we've donated over $9.7 million to over 42,000 different nonprofit organizations. And what I love the most is that when you're shopping, you get to support the nonprofits that are important to you. In addition, there is a donation made to the One Hope Foundation where we support water, hunger, health, and education. I think Zach's trying to pull up our
I am trying to pull up
our image here.
hey.
Perfect. So when you take your phone camera out, hold it up to that QR code, it's going to take you right to the fundraising page for Community Pay It Forward and Community Dare to Care. You can shop and support there. I love that we can customize gifts. I personally love sending gifts through One Hope Wine. I do it all the time. At the end of the school year, you better believe that my my kids' teachers got a nice box from me, just because it was an easy way to send a gift and be able to give back at the same time. If you'd like to type the link into your browser, it's that one right there at the bottom that says onehopewine.com/event, and then that 6-digit code at the end. That will take you right there. Anything that you purchase through that link is going to give back to support Community Dare to Care. So it's great. We ship across the US. So even if you're maybe more local to me, more local to Zach, but you have somebody that you want to send something to, 3 to 5 business days and it gets delivered. It's really fast. And it's a really way to make an impact with wine that you are already drinking. I want to talk about summer songs and sips. I thought that this would be fun. It's different. We haven't done it before. And since Zach and I have a lot of fun with, the One Hope portion of this, usually with snacks and all kinds of pairings, this is something different. Am I the only one that's kind of holding on to summer a bit longer? I know kids are going back to school, but I'm kind of holding on a little bit.
Oh no, because being here in Colorado, I know that once summer goes away, that other thing comes in. It's called winter. That's not a whole lot of fun. So just to let you guys know, this is what our Facebook page looks like. So you can always come here. Again, it's Community Pay It Forward Pay It Forward. One Hope Fundraiser is the name of the page. Just look for it. You can go back up into the comments and you'll find the direct link. It'll take you right there.
Yeah, perfect. And if you have any questions or need any recommendations, or maybe you heard something on this show that you have a question about, you can reach out to Zach and I through there. It's a really easy way to connect with us and ask a question. Or maybe you want some seasonal recommendations. Maybe you tried something, you really loved it, want to try something else that's similar. Reach out to me. I'm always happy to help with those recommendations.
These are those beautiful margaritas you were showing us.
Oh yeah, it's margarita time with this warm weather over here. I know for me, and I love those because all you have to do is chill them and pour them on ice, and they're ready to go. Of course, you can add things and stuff and spice them up if you'd like to, but just poured over ice, they are absolutely delicious. So, I'm going to dive in while you're showing that, just because
this is right really. Here is another one of our wonderful friends that you get to find on this page. Is you can find some of our past missions that we've raised money for. This is Project Die Hard. So that's another wonderful thing about this. But yes, let's go on ahead and continue and go to the Facebook page. It's a wonderful place to be.
To add to what you just said, Zach, is we've supported people in the past, and just like with Community Dare to Care now, you can support them at any time going forward. It doesn't just have to be this month. So yes, we're highlighting Dare to Care this month, but you can support anytime. If you have any questions about how, reach out through the page. But there's nothing quite like the harmonies of friends' laughter, clinking glasses, and the sound of our favorite summertime tunes. I'm going to go over some summer songs and sips tonight. That's why at One Hope, we've put together some of our top summer songs and paired them with our go-to wines of the season. So while I'm over here holding on to summer, this was the topic that I really wanted to, give you tonight. So I'm going to mention some songs and I'm going to mention some wines to go along with the tunes. And on the blog, they actually do have a link to a playlist. So if you really do want to like chill out, have a glass of wine and listen to some music, you can go to the One Hope blog for that. All right. So Wildflowers, Tom Petty with our Bloom Rosé. So for those slower summer days, pair Tom Petty with Bloom Rosé. The vibes will be laid back, nostalgic, and totally carefree. So that's the first one. And this stuff is noted on the blog, and I will share it on our page as well. If you want to just kind of put up the cheers image, Zach, you can do that so I don't have to look at myself. Just being real over here. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, but everybody likes looking at you. So,
Summer, Calvin Harris with our Vintner Collection Red Blend. Side note on that red blend, that wine is what got me into red wines when I first started with One Hope a few years ago. I did not drink red wine, but that red blend is absolutely delicious. So if you're, on the fence about red, check out the red blend. When it's time to turn up the volume, we've paired this party-approved go-to tune with our famous Vintner Collection Red Blend. So that's Summer, Calvin Harris. Heat Wave, Glass Animals, paired with our North Coast Zinfandel. So this is our reserve. This pairing is all about the harmonies. Get lost in the dried blackberry, cherry, cedar, and brown sugar flavors of our North Coast Zinfandel while listening to the smooth layers of this epic summer song. All right. So there's different music noted here. So hopefully something will catch your eye, as you're kind of tuning in. So California Girls, Katy Perry with our Pink Shimmer Rosé. This is such a beautiful bottle, and it's a beautiful bottle to get.
Yes.
To. Delicious. Glitzy Duo, perfect for girls' nights, summertime, soirees, and so much more. Also, California Girls, Beach Boys, paired with our Vintner Collection Sauvignon Blanc, another one of my favorites. I love throwing frozen fruit in Sauvignon Blanc this time of year and just calling it a day and making it a cocktail really easily like that. Our Vintner Collection Sauvignon Blanc pairs perfectly with the California coastal vibe of the Beach Boys. Any of these standing out to you, Zach, at all?
Actually, you know what? I've got a song that's stuck in my head that I'm waiting to ask you about, or I'm just waiting to see if it gets mentioned. But okay. I agree with you. I love the fruit in the wine. That's such a great idea.
Yum. So we also have Summertime Mungo Jerry, paired with our sparkling Moscato. So the very essence of summer was captured in this catchy tune. We recommend popping open a bottle of our sparkling Moscato when it comes on. Again, catch that playlist on the blog if you'd like to tune into that. We also have Summer Nights, Greece, with our Vintner Collection Pinot Grigio, our driest white, nice and crisp for summertime. Of course, sip on that super cold and it's delicious. Love at First Sip, the summer lovin' sing-along is best served with our cool and classic Vintner Collection Pinot Grigio. All right, let's see. I know we passed some of your favorites with that Moscato there because you like sweet. The Drifters, Under the Boardwalk, paired with Paired with our Italian Prosecco. Ooh, I love that bubbly. I actually plan to bring that with me on our little camping. I want to call it a trip. It's not really a trip. It's kind of work, but I'm actually taking that one with me. A refreshing burst of bubbles is best paired with this beachy, mellow medley. Cruel Summer, Taylor Swift. That was the one you were thinking about, Zach, right? T Swift.
No.
Are you a Swiftie fan?
No, not exactly. Not exactly.
Just kidding. That one is paired with our Napa Valley Reserve Merlot. For an unforgettable girls' night, enjoy our smooth, full-bodied Merlot with this can't help but sing along favorite. That was totally a joke. I'd imagine you're not a Taylor Swift fan. All right.
I'm not rich enough to be a Taylor Swift fan.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah. The ticket thing that made news. Yeah. And then wrapping it up with Cruel Summer, Bananarama. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. With our
No, you're saying it right. Yep.
Bananarama. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. With our Vintner Collection Chardonnay, a classic meets classic. We love this funky, upbeat tune paired with our beloved citrusy Chardonnay. One side note about our Chardonnay. If you are not a Chardonnay lover, typically, I recommend that you still try the Vintner Collection because it's not like that traditional oaky, heavy Chardonnay that you might be used to. We barrel ours in stainless steel and then it's finished in oak. So it's a little bit more fruit forward than most. And it's a little bit different than what you would normally see. So definitely give that a try. And another point I'll make is that your taste buds actually change every 2 weeks. A side note from our winemaker. So, if you tried Chardonnay a while back, maybe at a party, and you were like, I don't know, try it again. You never know if you might find you'll enjoy it. And that goes for any wine because there are so many different varieties that we have. So add these songs to your playlist and hold on to the last bits of summer while you sip. As always, if you need any recommendations, I am always here to help. Feel free to tag me on our Facebook page, or you can send me an email. All my connections to socials are right there on my link tree. And that's a wrap. And hopefully not a wrap for summer. Not just yet.
No. So the song I was thinking of is by Simply Red called Red, Red Wine.
I know that song.
So, yeah, it just for some reason that stuck in my head. And to be honest with you, when that song was popular, I hated that song. Oh, I just don't like that kind of music. But, Bananarama, that song was really catchy. And it's also a female group. So, I was a young guy at that time. So, but yeah, Bananarama, that's kind of funny. That was really actually kind of the time of the powerful girl groups, like the Go-Go's and Walk Like an Egyptian and stuff like that. That was pretty much that same era. So
yeah,
but
yeah, really cool. I think it's fun. Hey, instead of food pairings tonight, we did some song pairings. Fun.
Yeah, and that was kind of neat. I like that and reminiscent. Like Under the Boardwalk, I remember listening to that song. Back when I used to make donuts at a donut shop. For some reason that song always came on at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. That's so funny, right? That a song brings you to a memory like that. And when you hear our head winemaker talk, she often talks about the smell and the taste of wine, taking her back to places she's been with people, and just a memory. So that's so cool that you thought of that with the song too. So this is a really good pairing tonight.
Yeah,
great.
this is great. So,
well, Zach, take us home with some like final thoughts on Community Dare to Care, Pay It Forward, and how people can best help support you.
my final thought is very simple. Is that Stephanie and I do work really hard on trying to get this show up, and if do us a huge favor, and if you know anybody out there in the nonprofit world that would like to come on and talk about themselves, talk about their program, talk about the people that they help. We've experienced a couple times when people really didn't have a clue that the reason for the nonprofit was even out there. Pandas. We've had people that now have come to us going, I'd never even heard of this, but now I'm doing some studying on it, and it makes so much more sense. This is a good chance to where when you think to yourself, and this goes for both of these programs, ONEHOPE Wines and Community Pay It Forward. If you ever think to yourself, I love this organization, why doesn't anybody else know about them? A donation is good. A donation is wonderful to everybody. But imagine if you could share their information with hundreds, if not thousands of people. If you ever want to see an organization blow up, let's get them into a situation where other people know they're around. The worst thing for any small business, any small organization to hear is, I wish I would have known about you before ... happened. Okay, so you can help us out, you can help them out, and then you can support them by making purchases that you're already going to make. Why spend extra money when you don't have to? And you'll be working with like the owners of the company. So, you don't have to worry about dealing with people who don't actually know what's going on. You can work with the owners of the company. You can support small, medium businesses all over the world and support causes just by doing what you've already doing, by doing what you're already doing anyway. And when it comes to Community Dare to Care, all we need you to do is think. Just be a little thoughtful, open your mind, open your heart, and care. You have an idea, you want to bounce it off of us? Let's work together. Let's push the idea of getting along. Let's push the idea of bringing people together again. Because this division, it's not a good way to live. It's not a fun way to live. It's kind of funny, Stephanie, the other day, I was watching a news show and they had a Republican governor with our governor here in Colorado. And these two gentlemen, who's a Democrat, and these two gentlemen were sitting there and they were talking about how families are splitting because they're on the other side of the aisle from each other. And all I could think of is, how sad is that? Look, I don't have to like the person you like to love you.
Right.
I mean, that's simply it. I don't have to believe the same things that you believe to love you. And when we let go of divisiveness and remember, at some point in time, everyone is going to need a helping hand. It might not be financially. It may just be, hey, I need help moving my couch. But just remember, at some point in time, everyone needs a helping hand. Let's be there to help each other. Let's be there to help them. And let's make sure people know about it, because it does you no good to need help if nobody knows.
Right. Well, thank you, because you're helping put that platform together, Zach, for a lot of people.
Well, I don't do it alone. I've got a lot of wonderful, wonderful partners, both on the mission partner side, on the community partner side, and on the giving and sponsorship partners. And I did want to bring this up as well. If you know of a company that you think would love to be part of the Community Pay It Forward program, and they sign with us, we will give a quarter of whatever they sign for to the mission of your choice. So if they sign with a platinum membership, we're going to give, I believe it's $450 to the mission of your choice. Imagine this. All you do is make an introduction. All they do is give us a referral award for sales that come in, and you've supported somebody with a $450 payout. That could really help a family. That could help a nonprofit. That could help a lot of people. So if you want more information, just give us a call at 970-909-0751. That's 970-909-0751. Send me an email to zach@communitypayitforward.us, zach@communitypayitforward.us, and always go to communitypayitforward.us to find out more.
I love that. Giving back with every single angle. So good. Thank you. Thank you for doing this, Zach. I know that, this is a little bit out of your comfort zone and you like highlighting other people, but it was time you were highlighted. It's been over a year and you're doing a lot of really great things. So,
well, like I said, I wouldn't be doing any of it without you. So I appreciate everything that you've done, even throughout your entire pregnancy up until 2 days before you gave birth. You were right here by my side. You were right here helping me help others. And, we're all in this, like I've said before, we're all in this together. Nobody can do it alone. It truly does take a village to save a village. Look, it's not impossible, and it's not even hard. Let's get together and let's work towards helping people. So, well, Stephanie, thank you so very much. Again, please reach out to Stephanie with any questions on her link tree. It is up in the comments. If you look up in the comments, you can find the link tree. It's hyperlinked, so all you have to do is press on it and it'll go there. Go there and you can find out so much more about everything that she does. And we will see you on Monday morning.
I will see you Monday, Zach. Have a great one and reach out if you have any questions.
Sounds good. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate it. I cannot tell you how uncomfortable this was. I really can't. I don't mind coming on and talking about the company. I've done it many times. Well, I need to talk about the company. I truly do. But if you want to find out more about Community Dare to Care, go to the website, go to Community Cares Outreach. And you're going to find a couple things in there, like an auction that we're doing. We've got a couple books from the Rev, Sean Winnington. He wrote 2 books. He's one of the stars of the Legion of Exorcists on the Travel Channel. They just wrapped up shooting that show. He's written 2 books. We've got 2 autographed copies. Well, 1 autographed copy of each book that we're auctioning off. We've got some cast iron skillets. I know campers. That's one of the, you can't go camping without cast iron. You just can't do it. And let's be honest, cooking in cast iron is a great thing. Any fried chicken in cast iron, come on. So we've got a $100 gift certificate from the lovely lady that we just talked to. She's giving away, she's auctioning off a $100 gift certificate to ONEHOPE Wines. And we've also got a $100 tattoo from John's tattoo shop here in Greeley. Great friend, been a huge sponsor of everything that we've done. We're expecting some hair care products, some hair care things from Bittersweet, and those are going to be added soon. So go to communitypayitforward.us/community cares outreach. Find some of the stuff that's on there. Shop with them. Or put in a bid. We will take the bid at the end, the winning bid at the end, and that person is going to win a prize. So, but help us out, and we can help out others. Okay, so I obviously did it again, as you guys can tell. When I started this, I started it without the sound. So we're going to go on ahead and we're going to start this video over with Rob. So let me go on ahead and get it set up properly. And entire screen, share system audio. One of these days, I'm going to learn how to do my job. I promise you. So here we go. Once again, here's great guy. Hey everybody, I'm here with Rob Howman. Really good guy. Met him through a mutual friend, Carolyn of For My Card, one of our wonderful partners, introduced us. Rob, you are in like myself, you are a patriot and love trying to help veterans and trying to do things for veterans. And you're also a hockey fan, so that endears you to me forever. So your team's not terrible. I mean, they've won a couple cups the last couple of years. So, your team is, and they're tolerable to me. I like them. So, but Rob, welcome to the show.
And
You are
thank
our
you.
health insurance bodyguard.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be invited and have a discussion with you. But yeah, it's funny. I play college football, but I've always just loved the sport of hockey, and originally from Chicago, and now that I live in the Tampa Bay area, they put up a pretty good showing, more or less, the past few years. But it's just like any sports fan. It's like it's never enough. Winning's never enough. Keep on winning.
Yeah.
So, but I'm still going to go to a hockey game, and even when they're losing too. So I've been through the early 2000s when Stamkos first came on board. I mean, good grief, Barry Melrose was the coach. So
yeah. I remember how people were so excited about Melrose being a coach, and then you guys found out real quick why he hadn't coached in 12 years.
No, it's like just stick to ESPN and just comments and stuff, because I remember when he was the coach of the Kings back in what was it, 91? So I mean,
Yep.
they were in a Stanley Cup final, and
he also had a player named what was his name? Gretzky.
Gretzky was on that squad.
Yeah, that kind of makes coaching. That's kind of like people talk about I mean Chicago Bulls. Oh
yeah, when you had Jordan
and Pippen. Oh,
right.
Come on, I could coach, and I couldn't hit I can't hit a basket if it's 4 foot tall. So I'm gonna miss. But
right.
You've been doing you've been focused around health a lot of your life. You mentioned that you were a college football player. Is that one of the reasons why you went into health insurance? Did that have sway in what you were doing?
Actually, the reason why I went into the health insurance arena, my wife had sold her business, and I basically wanted to get involved with something that serving people, trying to help, but it was more or less my disdain for this Affordable Care Act that came down the road back in 2010, that was voted on, and then it was basically implemented 2014, and I got involved in the insurance arena in 2016, and been doing it ever since. So
let me and I know that we said nothing about politics, but let me ask you this: what is it about that act that really is something that you got? Why should people stay away from that?
Well, actually, the act, when it was implemented, the Affordable Care Act required you to get insurance, and you were penalized for not having it. In 2019, that was wiped away, so no longer was that an issue. And then don't get me wrong, there was ways of getting out of getting penalized for health insurance and stuff. I mean, there's all sorts of angles that I was very astute to, but that was really my disdain, was that you must buy insurance. I'm being told and penalized if I don't do it to their satisfaction. But honestly, nowadays, the level of and it's getting, I mean, it's crazy how much that the government is offering in tax credit assistance to people that are like, I don't qualify for assistance. Well, I was talking with a couple, and $250,000 annually for two adults, 56 and 57. They, if they made less than 250,000, they qualified for assistance. And I mean, they're throwing money at people to get them, because the participation in the marketplace is really the ultimate goal of, because it's a government, entity in many cases, at minimum at a state level, because you've got, your the marketplace is available in most states, but there's other states that have their own individual marketplace, Colorado being one of them, and then there's also Las Vegas, there's let's see, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and I mean, there's just too many to list. New Jersey, New York. So, each one of the states has got their own brand of how they want to implement. And it is. I'll tell you what, the moniker of your health insurance bodyguard. I mean, there's no violence involved with that, mind you, but it is, all about protection. It's sometimes you need an interpreter to understand exactly what's going on out there, and it is, I believe, deliberately made confusing. And really, I mean, it's the problem with healthcare in the United States. It's the only industry, if you think about it, that we agree to get something done without first getting a quote, because you're getting auto repair, you're going to get a quote. All right, you want to get it done, you're going to paint your house, plumbing work done, you're going to shop for a tool of some sort, you're going to look around, and it's unfortunate that we've come to this situation where most people are just fine with uh, agreeing to get a procedure done without fully understanding exactly what the cost implications are going to be. And many cases, the doctor has no idea how much it's going to cost because he's not involved with the billing process. But I tell everybody that, listen, you should always be asking questions when it comes to getting your health care, because, you have that right to know, how much it costs is one aspect. So a lot of times you get these doctors that keep on doing these tests and tests and tests and tests, and you have the right to ask and saying, "Hey, listen, is this test necessary? What are you trying to find out? Is there alternatives, safer alternatives, more expensive alternatives? Is it?" And it's just asking those questions really, puts. You're not trying to so much challenge the doctor and his expertise and his knowledge, but shouldn't you know? I mean, hey, I don't understand it. Could you please explain this to me? Why is this so much more necessary? I've heard that other people do it this way. What's the difference? Something to that effect. I mean, you should be allowed to have a conversation and really, eliminate all that gray area and because it's never really a discussion. More or less, it's a discussion of trying to get you, diagnosed and the treatments necessary in order to make you better. And you do have that right in order to ask those questions and such. But unfortunately, what the healthcare industry is prone to do is, these all these large hospital groups that are out there, they've bought up all these little private practices.
Mhm.
No longer, did they have Dr. Such and such practice. It's now got that placard on it of a, large hospital group. They're part of that group. And now that they're part of the group, they're obligated to, you know, prescribe a certain amount of, labs, x-rays, mammograms, ultrasounds, CT scans, regardless of whether or not they're actually necessary, because they've got a quota of actual things that they have to do. And it's unfortunate that they'll try to stack the deck again "Oh, we work really well with these people. We'll set your appointment for you." That should be a huge red flag because in many cases, there could be kickbacks. That's a red flag alert. It's, "Oh, we work well with these people." The doctors golf every Saturday, so, but, you're say if you wanna get a non-contrast MRI and you go where they tell you to go, you could be spending anywhere from 4,500 to 55 on up. But, I know where you can get a non-contrast MRI right down the road from me for $250 cash. And it's just that realization of people understanding, you know, being in the industry as long as I have been, being your bodyguard, I can tell you, hey, listen, if you have any kind of lab work, any kind of imaging, any kind of testing, it'll behoove you to get the order, and we could probably get it for a lot less expensive. The same image, the same lab. It's going to go to your doctor just like he wants it to, but you're going to pay a lot less for it. And really, it's just looking out for the. It's unfortunate that people get in those problems and they don't listen to me, and then I have to negotiate their excessive medical bill. But I do it all. I do it all when it comes down to it. We just don't leave you standing.
Let me ask you this question. I've worked for both big companies and little companies. And when is it best for somebody to, like, obviously, if you're working for a company that is paying the majority of your insurance, I mean, yeah, you're always going to pay into it a little bit. Um, you know, they should still check with you to see if you can do anything, right? Or should you just say, no, are you going to be able to tell them the insurance that you've got right now, there's no way we can beat that? Or are you going to be able to take and customize something around them?
That's a great question. Now, the first thing you said was, what is the best? Now, good, best, bad, worse, that's an opinion. The only opinion that matters is the one who's the policyholder. Can we agree on that? So, what's
Yep.
right for the policyholder is ultimately what the question should be able to answer. In most cases, when you get group coverage through an employer, it's always really good as far as the coverage it offers for the employee. And you got to be careful because in many cases, when you add your spouse and dependents to that same policy, all of a sudden now the employee is on the hook to pay for the spouse and all of the dependents that would be on the policy as well. It's not always that way, but in many cases, it quite simply can't. It can be that way. I can usually assist with those situations, but ultimately, it's all about the needs and the budget and everybody's situation could be different. Back in the day when you had group coverage through an employer, I mean, growing up, my dad worked for Donnelly Printing, and my entire family was covered through Donnelly Printing, and my dad had awesome coverage and stuff. So, back in the day, it really just covered everybody. But because of the Affordable Care Act, when there's more than 50 employees in the business, every policy has to adhere to the 10 essential benefits required, or there's a penalty per day for every individual that's not offered that type of coverage. So there's and then unfortunately, the cost of the business would then therefore be passed on to the employees and paying for it. So it's a slippery slope. Some companies are have that large amount of employees that can really help mitigate the cost would it be for spouses and dependents, and so you know it's usually more cost effective because let's face it, the group coverage is usually got probably better networks access to more doctors facilities, probably has PPO, national PPO networks that offer, you know, whether it's in or out of network. So allows you a lot more flexibility. But in most cases, people who get coverage, there's a reason why they call them benefits. I mean, usually they're usually pretty stout, they're pretty good, but it never hurts a person to ask that question, could I do better? And you know what? You're going to feel a lot better if you know that you're in the best situation possible, that you made the right decision. You're going to be able to sleep better at night, knowing that you've got the most cost of, and knowing it is, reassuring to somebody. And, it's helpful to be able to speak with somebody, because information from me about coverage, doing policy evaluations and such like that, all that information is free, so I'm more than happy to do that for you. Heck, I had a 26-year-old young lady who was coming off of her parents, she's a 26-year-old coming off her parents' health coverage, and this was the first time she was looking at group coverage through her employer. And unfortunately, you got a benefits coordinator, not a licensed agent. They're really not going to be able to effectively explain the choices that they got. Usually, it's like, you got three choices, pick one. And really, uh, I spent some time with her, and there's no money in it for me. I'm just, it's a good reputation to help out a young lady who's like, I'm thinking about having a baby with my husband and I, and so, all right. So if I'm asking her, is your OBGYN in this network that they're offering? No? Okay. Well, all right. So what you're saying is that this network would be better if you were going to deliver a baby with this coverage, correct? So we went through it. I made her feel comfortable about this. She made the decision based on the information I was able to provide for her. But that's just, that's a lot of stuff that I do to, I wish I had somebody that I could lean on and ask all those questions too, and without having to buy something first. So,
I
it's
think
fun.
that's probably one of the I think that, that's probably one of the biggest problems with, and especially people who are getting up there in age. We think about, okay, the first time that we bought insurance, the first time that we went out and got insurance for ourselves, we didn't have any of this. And then the first time something happened and we went and we were stuck with this huge bill, like, what the hell am I paying for insurance for if I'm still going to have to pay this absorbent amount of money?
And
So
and yeah, you're absolutely right. It falls into like the interpretation of a policy, and all of the things that can occur when a claim is done, submitted. I mean, spin the wheel. I mean, for uh, a major sickness, a major accident. There's all sorts of different factors that like emergency appendectomy. Just all these different things that can occur, and before you know it, you've got a bill for $35,000, and you're like, okay, all right, well, then you come to find out that it was through the emergency room, and the surgeon wasn't in network, but we our advocacy aspect is uh, never pay the first bill. You see this excessive bill, and never pay the first bill, and we'll always say what the first course of action is, and that's, do you have financial assistance available? So we'll have people fill out paperwork for financial assistance, because in many cases people don't realize that not-for-profit hospitals have to offer assistance, and then you've got other for-profit hospitals that are out there too. But we also go to the extent of actually itemization of all charges, because 80% of all medical billing nowadays intentionally has mistakes and errors deliberately put into it, and just daring you to see where they're at, and if you're going to just pay for them or not. As I say, never pay the first bill. There's always something that can be done. And my wife, just last month, she's the head of our advocacy department, got a $107,000 medical claim down to 7 grand. So, I mean, it can be done. Yeah, it's scary, but just calm down. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time of just getting all that information. because they do drag their feet in gathering the details that's going to allow you to really scrutinize. And you know what? Why do they drag their feet? Because they know that they threw a bunch of crap in that bill, and they're seeing whether or not you're going to take it.
Rob, I think one of the things that I tell people all the time, and I'm pretty sure that you'll agree with this. Okay, one of the worst things to do when you're recovering from something, from an injury, from whatever, is stress. That just makes your body not want to heal. It doesn't make your body not want to heal. It just keeps your body from healing.
Right.
And having someone like you on board who can help explain these things helps alleviate that stress a little bit, right?
And I'm happy to do it because it's just my calling is to be a resource and really care about that. You're put in a situation and you feel like you're stuck on that deserted island. Yeah, I'm alive, but man, there's nobody around. I'm the only one out here. We'll help you walk slow, kind of set your expectations, and just as long as you're committed to us, we'll be committed to you. And we've been very successful. And it's just understand it's not one of those things that gets done in a weekend. I had a person that had a CT scan through the emergency room. Now she was there for 45 minutes, got a medical bill of $12,479. And we started working with her and tried to do some negotiation, and they weren't biting, but we had a tactic we used, because their website said that a CT scan would cost $150. So we turned the billing department into the state's attorney's office, and lo and behold, on December 3rd, 2021, my policyholder got a phone call asking if from the billing department saying, "Would you accept $200 as a settlement for this claim?" And she called up us. She calls up. She was crying, and she goes, "What did you guys do?" And I got the chills from it because Merry Christmas. We just wiped out $12,279. Now you only have to pay $200 for the CT scan, and it was excessive price gouging. And like I said, they're gonna ask for it. They're gonna see whether or not you're foolish enough to not do anything about it. And you know what? But there's always different alternatives, and state regulators of price gouging and such. That's just another effective tool that we've it's not something new. It's just the people. It's a level of awareness. I mean, we know how to tackle a lot of these situations. We don't, it's not what we're getting on the phone and screaming at people at all. We're asking, and then we're basically letting them know that, well, I'm sure your state's attorney's office isn't going to really appreciate how much you charged with this itemization of charges. But I've had people got surgeries from a robot and had no idea they're getting surgeries from a robot. They had their insurance information, and they knew that going through this surgery, they would wind up having to pay like $35,000 that the insurance wasn't going to cover for them. So it's like, you knew it and you allowed me to go through with it. And so we used a very similar tactic. Plus, they were a religious hospital too. So, but we got it wiped out totally.
You brought up a good point. You getting on there screaming and yelling and cussing at them, and first off, you're doing that to somebody who really doesn't have a whole hell of a lot to do with your bill. Their job is to call you and tell you that you owe
Usually
money.
it's the messenger that's delivering the bad news.
But the truth is, they've also got this thing called a script, to where, you know what, they they have your coverage. They know every little nook and cranny where they can hide things. That's
I,
the reason why having somebody like you there
yeah, and
is
I have to tell you,
important.
Zach, it's a good thing that Filipino call centers are in the Philippines, or my wife would be buying a plane ticket, wanting to beat the crap out of everybody in that building because they have a script and they're taught to repeat the question that you ask. It's so monotonous. And yeah,
Yet
it gets
it's
to the point where it's, there's certain carriers, certain insurance companies that I got to get on the phone with these people, and I got, it's not to mention, oh, you need to talk with this department, and you were on hold for an hour already, and then they drop the call, and so, but that's the other thing too is that does a person that this occurs to, their expertise is not, you know, really trying to figure out how to solve this problem. On top of, they don't have the time to stay on hold and be patient because they're working, or they got a career, they got a livelihood, and we do all that stuff. So it's unfortunate, and I mean, and really, we're really not that expensive, and you don't even have to have insurance to leverage my services because let's just say, for instance, you're rolling a dice. I'm healthy, uh, until you're not, or until you get into an accident, something that's usually what happens, and then we got to go back and battle and try to get things negotiated down. But there's always room to negotiate, and you know what? If you're going through this stuff alone and you don't call me, shame on you. Come on, man. I mean, doesn't cost you anything to talk with me, and really, like I said, we're pretty cost effective. We're only $9 a month for an individual, $16 a month for a couple, and $22 a month for a family, and that's per month. And you know it's not insurance; it's a service to take care of you and help you manage and navigate your care. And really, like I said, we want you to be consumers of your health care, and not put up with all the other stuff. I mean, don't do it by yourself if you can avoid it. Invite us in. We're not gonna, try to, you know, be unethical by any means. I mean, it's just, you know, we're 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 more up to the task of, getting you some help, and really, it's. Yeah, I mean, it's the least we can do. And like I said, I wish I had somebody like me that I could do stuff with, because I've had some major instances of injuries where flipped over the handlebars of a mountain bike, completely dislocated my AC joint and got a pin put in for my surgery. Wound up getting staph infection from that pin, had to have 3 more surgeries, a week stay in the hospital, IV therapy for 2 months, and, I mean, I've been through those serious situations before, so I can empathize, and, you know
you're already scared, you're already pissed off, you're already
Right,
angry at the
yeah,
world, and the last thing you need is any of that. Uh,
right.
you and your bride, you guys are entering into a new realm. Actually, not really a new realm, but
Yeah, it's a partnership that, we've got, because, the other aspect of, just life in general is, you know mortgages and owning a home and debt, credit card bills, and things of that nature. Well, I've become a or I've now I have access to proprietary software that it's a new way to help you actually devise a almost a GPS to pay off all your mortgage, all your debt, credit card bills, your student loans, HELOCs, all these different things, and not have to change your spending habits or pull out new loans and refinance and do those things, and still have the ability to build wealth And it's a really interesting formula because I mean, I've got the software and I'm going to be out of debt, own my home in less than 3 years. And, I'm just like, I'm a believer in it. And, imagine if you could figure out the ways to really, leverage your wealth in a different fashion that protects you even better than I mean, yeah, everybody would like to invest, but let's invest and be safe about it and not lose money. And so it's kind of a combination of annuities, index life, and also managing your finances. But it's really one of those things where it's a philosophy and an awareness of things that I wish they would have taught this stuff to us when we were in high school because, had I known all this stuff, I probably would have gone to college. I probably would have gone out and started working and doing all these things and knew that this was the way to build wealth and I mean, I'm going to teach people how to become their own banks for goodness sake. So, I mean, really, I mean, if you can be your own bank, you're definitely going to want to know about it. And yeah, I just love to be able to talk with people, and it's really all about education, and the education aspect of that process is totally free. So, you got to be educated in order to really understand it, and it's not like you have to pay for the education, but I'd be willing to, sit down with anybody and just get them to buy into. I mean, are you comfortable losing a bunch of money through the market, or would you rather learn how you can secure your income and build for tax-free income for your retirement? So yeah, it's called RNC Financial, and the Robin Carmel Financial. So that's what the RNC is for. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. Still doing the health insurance, still doing the advocacy, but it's a complete kind of holistic protection aspect that I'm trying to achieve for anybody that works with Carmel and I.
Well, so you're really out there and you're just doing everything you can to truly make a difference to help protect people. And I greatly appreciate that, Rob. That's one of the reasons why I wanted you to get on here, so I could try to introduce you to people. I hope eventually you and I are able to work together. You and I have been talking about doing some things together, but I want you to real quick before we get off here. Tell me, why do you have such an emphasis on wanting to help our heroes?
You know, for somebody who's willing to put their life on the line for me, I'm always going to be at your service. And, I just feel that whatever it is that we can do to support our veterans, as far as I'm concerned, it's never enough. I mean, really, it's, I mean, you're leaving a lot of yourself sometimes that you left it on the battlefield more or less. I mean, and getting that back is is arduous of a task for many people, and it's just the empathy and the admiration of just the courage that they show to volunteer, and the fact that you're willing to do it on my behalf. I've always got a place for you in my heart, and I'll never stop acknowledging the appreciation that I've got for you.
Rob, how do people get a hold of you?
The easiest way is, I've got a toll free no well, I've got my cell phone number is probably the easiest way, which is, area code 813-943-9683, and my email is rob@rn as in Nancy, C financial.com.
You've also got a For My card, which you can see right here. There you
And
go.
yep.
And so you get a hold of that for my card, and it's going to give you more information, right?
Definitely, yes. And on that For My Card, you've got a 15-minute call, 30-minute call, so however much time you want. But once we do an initial conversation, we'll definitely be able to figure out what is going to be the most appropriate solution for you. And you know what? It's always free. You never have to pay any money for information.
That sounds great. You can find Rob on LinkedIn, Twitter, and also you can find his website on his For My Card. You can find all this stuff right there.
And on Facebook, I've got a business page. It's Your Health Insurance Bodyguard, Rob Homan, Your Health Insurance Bodyguard. So, yeah, I've got some presence. In fact, I was just working on my YouTube channel and just put up a new Health Insurance Bodyguard video that, yeah, it's a picture of me putting on my gear, and I just do a voiceover. But it's all about trying to turn you into a consumer of your health care instead of being a victim. Feels really good. Feels really good.
Well, I'll send you this video as soon as I'm done with it, and you'll have another video to add to your YouTube channel. You can get a hold of Rob one more time by calling 813-943-9683. So, Rob, any last words you would like for anybody?
I am here to help first and foremost, and really, everybody likes to win. Let's win together.
All right. And, Rob mentioned it before. Look, this is what we're talking about, and nobody has to go it alone. When we all come together, don't go into a situation that you don't completely understand. Let somebody who has a little bit of experience with it be by your side. You're going to win a lot easier if you've got somebody there.
You know what? Don't feel ashamed of this occurring to you, because it happens to the best of everybody. Don't hesitate to give me a call. We'll tackle it together. And you know what? Let's laugh about it after we win.
Sounds good. Rob, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And we will be right back.
Stepping out of her fear, bring me home. Out alone, you show me the way. You wanna be a part of Sunset Boulevard.